Welcome, folks. Joko here from IELTS Temple, and this is the next in my series of discussions of how to look at the different types of Task 2 questions. They're all based on the same band descriptors, but I think how you look at each one of them. And we're going to do a brief look today at a two-part question. It's kind of rare. A lot of students, they don't like to do them because they're kind of tough. But the one we have today is pretty good. So I hope you enjoy this analysis and review of one of your peers' essays. Yes, because this is the first one I'm doing of this, I'm trying to make it a little more entertaining. That's why we have the xylophone in the background. And my friend, Dr. Sparkles, is playing for us. He is actually running for U.S. Congress. He wants to be in government. And what's our question? Comes to us today on a little cute note. In many countries, weddings are expensive as compared to the past. What is the cause? And is it a positive or negative development? So I'm going to underline the important words in that task, like many countries. Well, what are the important words? The ones that answer these questions. You have to answer the question, you have to qualify it as to the specifics of what you're talking about. Where? Many countries. Who? Well, people who are getting married, but of course that also includes their families, right? I mean, parents pay for. When? Nowadays, as opposed to the past. Why? That's our first question. What are the effects? Now, how am I going to decide if it's a positive or negative development? Am I going to do some research or an in-depth probing of what I think is important in the world? No, you got to choose right away. Because one thing about this task is it's long. It's quite a task. So choose right away and then brainstorm. Think about why. Okay, if I was doing this, my first thing that come to me would be, oh, you know what? I didn't get married until I was like 31. People are getting married later in life, so they have more resources. And there is such a thing as the wedding industry, particularly in my country, where you've got, you have it here too, of people. It's a big business. And social pressure, of course, from the last wedding. You got to be bigger than them. Negatives. Why I don't like this phenomenon. Oh, I said phenomenon. Don't use that word. Of course, a waste of money. Half of all marriages end in divorce. Why spend a fortune on something you're not sure is going to work? And in my family's case, my parents, they're still together after 55 years, and they got married in a courthouse in a very simple ceremony. I got married in Las Vegas. It's not important to me personal values. Very outlining is pretty straightforward. I wouldn't spend much time on your introduction because, again, you definitely have to do, it's a two-part question. If you want your points to be thorough, don't waste a bunch of ink in your outline. Paraphrase the situation. Say, you don't even have to, definitely don't give any examples or reasons, of your answers. Body paragraph 1. Why weddings cost more than they used to. State 2 reasons. Give support. Give some more support. Body paragraph 2. Why I think they're ridiculous. I was outlining for myself. Now you can state your 2 reasons and then go into support for them separately, or you can state 1 reason and then state a second reason. In your conclusion, only summarize. Okay, here's our introduction from Mr. I'm glad I had to work on his name, and now I've forgotten it. So I can't back up. Here we go. Oh, wait. No, don't mess up. Oh, I think I have to click this. Okay, good start. Weird middle. And he made a statement. Now, if you've seen my videos before, you recognize the colors. The red indicates words that he is using or not using. One thing I haven't figured out is I always only highlight the negatives. They're color-coded. on the band descriptor that they're impacting. Let's have a look what I thought of this. Okay, there's some color. Right. Now, weddings are the indispensable parts of our lives. Okay. Now, I have heard this phrase being used as an indispensable part, not parts. You know, if it's indispensable, it means you cannot do without it. It's unlikely to be plural. So, an indispensable part of our life, our lives. Now, as I said, I know this phrase, and you're making a very strong statement to start. You better back it up. You need to also be very careful with these, what are called set phrases, that so many of you in parts of this world, India, have learned and have been taught that you need to use these phrases, use these sentences, and it will be a key to success. If you don't use them, you will not get a good score. All right, what happens? Let's, they are tools, but you wouldn't use a hammer to fix your eyeglasses. All right, individual part of that. During recent years, there is a dramatic surge. During recent years, you couldn't ask for a more perfect time marker than that to tell you you need to use the present perfect. There has been. All right, now, this next sentence is kind of interesting. Let's look at it. Well, it's not interesting. It's very confusing. A one-time event in the entire life and following the trend of society are the main factors involved in this. You've got two answers before the antecedent. In other words, a normal person would say, the main factors involved in this are a one-time event in their life and following the trend of society. But you put it backwards. It's like Yoda. Remember Yoda from Star Wars? He was a little green guy who had a very interesting way of talking. Here's a little tiny red thing. Yoda. So I figured I would type your sentence into the Yoda Speak generator that I found at this website. Now, Yoda Speak takes the objects, the end parts of the sentences, and puts them in the front. Here we are. And we should have a little video here, I think. You're going to start by itself, or do I have to push a button?
Okay, when I read the sentence, the Yoda sentence, I got this idea.
Is it playing already?
Let's see what Yoda says about the IELTS instructions. You can see I've already typed this in. Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. The Yoda converter will convert it for us. Click on convert. And there it is. For your answer. And
it went away. It never played. Maybe I'll put it at the end. Okay. But you should say the other way around. Now, the first three sentences all have the same verb, to be. I hope that doesn't continue. And then when we get down to the end here, all right, a one-time event in the entire life, and the main factors involved in this, and I think it is having more negative impacts than positive ones. Well, what did you say to start? You said that you think that weddings are an indispensable part. I think you might have misunderstood what indispensable means, or you're just using this phrase because someone told you you had to. As I said, it means you can't be without it. It's a very positive thing. So now you've stated one position at the start of the paragraph and an entirely different one at the end. Body paragraph 1. Was this the one that I sped up? Yeah, this one looked really long, so I increased.
There are umpteen number of reasons why people are preferring to have extravagant wedding celebrations. First and foremost of all, they think that it is one of the memorable incidents in their lives. So they want to celebrate it in the best possible way without thinking about money. Secondly, as it has become a custom to spend lavishly on these celebrations, they have to flow with the society whether they want it or not. As an example, if they do not spend exorbitantly on these incidents, people will think of them as misers. Hence, due to these reasons, people go out of their way to spend in these situations.
It worked before when I sped up the pace a little bit, but Australians speak fast enough as it is. I love this website where you can get all these different accents. It'd be good for listening practice and pronunciation practice for that matter. So, what did I think of this? Oh, look at all that color. That word I saw in the comments. Ajit said, what is umpteen? I don't know what this umpteen is. Umpteen, it's informal. It means a number that you can't even count to, that it's so high. And it's kind of strange to be talking about usage, but in this usage, there are umpteen number of reasons. Well, umpteen number would be a single thing, wouldn't it? So it would be, there is umpteen number. No, there is. But in any case, it's singular. So there is an there is an umpteen number. I'm confused. Number of reasons why people are preferring to have extravagant wedding celebrations. We don't use the verb prefer in the continuous tense because it's a stative verb. First and foremost of all. Okay, first and foremost, yes. First of all, yes. But first and foremost of all, okay, you're saying that this is, no, well, we don't use those together. And if you say first and foremost, well, you're already setting yourself up to say that not only is your next point going to support your position of extravagant weddings, it is the most important reason why people have extravagant weddings. Don't set yourself up with your own words to fail. Just say one of the reasons. First and foremost. And as you'll see, this bites you. Memorable incident. Incident has a negative connotation, something bad that happens. Oh, it was a horrible incident. Incident's bad. Okay, now, starting a sentence with so works when you are introducing a new topic. Okay, so let's continue with the next paragraph. It's just a verbal marker to tell you, like, well, so what did you do last night? Here you're using it as a conjunction, and it should be one sentence. First and foremost of all, they think that it is one of the memorable incidents in their lives, so they want to celebrate it in the best possible way without thinking about money. Oh yeah, so doesn't work. Okay, secondly, as it has become a custom to spend lavishly on these celebrations. A custom is like that's something becomes a trend, and then it becomes a custom, and then there's probably some steps in between. Point being, that's a big word. That means that it's going to stick around. So, custom. I would go with, it has become customary. Using the adjective is more ephemeral, like passing. It has become a custom to spend lavishly. Good vocabulary, spend lavishly. But we don't use flow, it's informal. They have to flow with the society whether they want it or not. Wait a minute here. A minute ago, you said in your first point, where's my laser pointer? That the people are so excited that first and foremost of all, that money is not a consideration. But now some of them don't want to do it. You're creating examples that go against your first point. People think of them as misers are people who are rich but don't want to spend money. Hence, due to these reasons, you don't need both of those. People go out of their way to spend in these situations. People. Just general. We haven't heard about the young couple getting married yet, or their parents, or any of the who. Just people. Note, these situations, these reasons, don't use the same pronouns. Again.